Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all is well. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I really do appreciate it. And it's simple. If you're absolutely addicted to the game of basketball like I am, make sure you click that red subscribe button down below and put that post notification bell on. And if you enjoy this video, make sure you smash the like button as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I really do appreciate it. So today we're going to be talking about the Memphis Grizzlies, not fully the Memphis Grizzlies, but we're going to be talking about some specific things. So I really do like the way the Memphis Grizzlies have constructed their basketball team, especially throughout their draft. Even when you think about the later players, like I think Xavier Tillman's going to be a solid player for them for a long time. I do like Brandon Clark. Desmond Bane was a late round steal coming out of TCU. Obviously, you nailed on like guys like John Morant. Well, you have to nail on that pick. It's a top 3 pick. And Jaren Jackson Jr., he's a good player, but you could still say there's a work in progress when it comes to him being a top 5 pick in the draft. And even someone, maybe you didn't go on a draft, but you acquired, you maneuvered, and all that, and you went on to acquire this guy like a Steven Adams. I like Steven Adams a lot. I think he's a culture-changing player that always has his teammates back. So I do think there's a brotherhood to this basketball squad. You went on to draft Zaire Williams when it came to Stanford. Just he was one of the best players coming out of high school. Good, like, kind of had his struggles in college, especially with the 3 ball, dealt with some adversity, but I thought he made some decent strides when it comes to his rookie year. So when I'm watching this Grizzlies squad, you go on to beat the Timberwolves in the first round, but you lose to Golden State Warriors in 6 games. So I didn't think anyone expected them to go on to beat the Golden State Warriors in 6 games, but I love that they have this next man up mentality. They have no excuses. Taylor Jenkins has installed a very good culture in Memphis, and I'm just thinking, what's the next step for this team? Like, I think they need someone that can really elevate this team. They need more of a ceiling. You know, John Morant's a beast. You know, his vision's amazing. He could pickpocket guys. His athleticism's insane. Yes, his Achilles Heel is his ability to like not really shoot it consistently from the outside, but he could work down the lane, he could change directions, he's lightning fast, unbelievable to watch. He's going to definitely help impact winning. You have Desmond Bane that can shoot the 3 ball, defend at a very high level. He's strong. Despite him not being the tallest in the world, he is strong as shit. Like, he's built like a shit brick house, and I love the way this dude plays the game of basketball. And you take a look also when it comes to this basketball squad, you take a look at a Steven Adams, just sets very hard screens. He does the little things that I don't think really pops up on the stat sheet for Memphis Grizzlies fans. But one player that I think's underrated as well is I do like Santi Aldama. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I'm impressed sometimes when I watch him out there on the floor. Carr, I think, is a solid player as well when it comes to the Memphis Grizzlies. But one player I really wanted to touch base on was Jaren Jackson Jr. because I think Jaren Jackson Jr. is a good player, but I feel he has more to work on that I think he could elevate this basketball squad. Because you take a look at Jaren Jackson Jr. as the 4th overall pick. He had a solid rookie year. Second year, I love what he did. 47% from the field, shot very efficient from downtown, like 38%, averaged 17 points per game. We know he was all defensive first team. This past season, his defensive versatility, 6'11". He could read the passing lanes. Very good coordination defending the perimeter. He could defend the rim as well. But what's his Achilles heel? He's averaged nearly 4 fouls per game every single season. And when you're one of the best defensive players or the best defensive player on your team, they need you consistently out there on the floor. Especially when it comes to down the stretch, you're playing up against one of the best offensive teams in basketball. We can't afford to have you off the floor and you foul out or you're in foul trouble with 4 or 5 fouls. Especially when they're a team that can constantly stretch the floor even with bigs. Because let's say there's a switch, and all respect to Brandon Clark, I think Brandon Clark's actually taken some strides since Gonzaga on the defense side of the basketball. You just trust Jaren Jackson Jr. more with his length, maybe consistently defending the perimeter, and you would rather have him more out there on the basketball floor. But Jaren Jackson Jr. needs to become more disciplined. He averaged like 3.7, 3.8 fouls per game this past season. He's sometimes got into foul trouble when it came to the playoffs versus the Golden State Warriors. You can't afford to have that happen, especially when it's about to be his 5th year in the league, I believe, because he was drafted in 2018, something like that, like coming out of Michigan State. That was kind of his thing as well. He could block shots, but it comes down to his discipline, and that came to his offensive game as well. His discipline on offense needs work as well. When he's on, Jaren Jackson Jr. is one of the best players in the game. You see him swatting shots. You see him defending the perimeter, just contesting shots or altering shots outside of the perimeter, even in the inside. He's hitting shots from freaking nearly the logo. His athleticism. Sometimes he makes underrated reads out there on the floor, grabs and goes. He can handle the ball as well. But when Jaren Jackson Jr. is off, it is bad to watch. So he only shot 41% from the field this past season. We can get in get into why as well, but he only shot 31% from three this past season as well on 5 attempts. You could say there is some rust factor to that. He also averaged 16 points per game, so we're going to give him credit in that department. Obviously, he came off of a meniscus injury the prior season, but when you watch Jaren Jackson Jr. play throughout the playoffs or even the regular season, when he goes up strong, he's a beast. But sometimes he just goes up weak with the basketball. Like he's putting up these floaters like off the wrong foot, or he's just playing a little too fast. Like he needs to learn when to slow it down. Nothing's there, give up the basketball. It just seems like there's always pressure on him to make a big time play. And sometimes he's forcing threes. And there's obviously been an inconsistency with his shot. Even like obviously the year he tore his meniscus, he only played 11 games, so I'm not going to really put into account that sample size. He only shot like 28% from three that season. But he does have this like awkward push shot, but he did prove that he could knock it down his second year. He shot it from like a 37% clip. His first year, he shot like 36% clip. So I don't know if maybe he should tweak something in that, or just let's see what he does this season. Maybe he was rusty from the year before. And that was actually the career high of most games he played in a season. He played over 70 games. But if you look at the history, because you look at Jaren Jackson Jr.'s frame, he's 6'11", why rebuild? He has gotten stronger. He's not crazy strong, but it's like, how long will that build actually hold up in the NBA? That's one of his concerns, his injury. So his rookie year, he played 58 games. His second year, he played 57. His third year, he played 11 games. And he played 78 games this past season. But then you take a look at this. After playing 78 games, he's going to miss some of the beginning of the season with surgery of a stress fracture on his foot. So when it comes to the inconsistencies of his offense, like he needs to get better consistently scoring the ball. Like he'll have nights, he's amazing. You see him put up 20 points. Next game, you're like, wait, he had 10 points on bad efficiency. Like, what's his shot selection tonight? He needs to be able to stay healthy. Obviously, that's a freak injury going on to tear your meniscus. But he even missed some games his first and second year, so he has to be able to stay out there on the floor and he needs to be more disciplined on the defense side of the basketball and go up stronger at times. I'm not critiquing or killing him as a player. It's just what I honestly see. But it's more than Jaren Jackson Jr. I'm not saying if Jaren Jackson Jr. doesn't play like the 4th overall pick, I'm not saying he hasn't been playing like 4th overall pick, but I'm just saying if he doesn't play like the superstar, I'm not saying it's all on him. Obviously, it's a team sport. The coaches have to make the right adjustments. Everyone has to be on the same page. You even want to see maybe an improvement from Desmond Bane. It's just communicating out there on the floor, because he's not as he wasn't even that young coming out of TCU. He's kind of a late bloomer, but it's just another year of experience under his belt in the NBA. Zaire Williams, second-year player. Maybe, I'm not going to say he's going to play at this level, but he was one of the top players coming out of high school. Maybe he has a huge jump this upcoming season for the Memphis Grizzlies. Maybe he could be the one that raises the ceiling of this team. But you want everyone to elevate their play, not just one player. But when you have someone you took with the 4th overall pick, you want them to consistently stay healthy. You want them to stay out of foul trouble. You just want to see progress. His second year, I really like what he did his second year. Yes, I believe it was a bubble year that year. Or anyway, the bubble, that shit felt like it was a million years ago now when I'm thinking about it. But his second year, I love the efficiency. I love the finishing in the interior. It just comes down to, sometimes, put up an off-balance shot, weird push shot, come down with an offensive rebound, he'll chuck it up again. I think he just needs to be more poised in those situations. Nothing's there, let me kick it outside of the perimeter. He has shown he does have that soft touch, and he could stroke it from the outside. He shoots over 80% from the free throw line, but I think it just comes down to taking the right shots and making the right play. And again, I do like Jaren Jackson Jr. I love this team. I love Desmond Bane. Tough as nails. I love John Morant. His playmaking, his athleticism's off the charts, but I just feel they need something more to really elevate this team. Jaren Jackson Jr. needs to, I'm not going to say he has to average, I think 17 points per game is fine, but it comes down to the efficiency, just being smarter, in my opinion, because I think this team's a brotherhood. I think they're going to elevate their play. I'm not saying they're going to get past the second round, but I just definitely would love to see Jaren Jackson Jr. elevate his game, or just someone take the next step for this Memphis Grizzlies club. So let me know down below your thoughts on the Memphis Grizzlies. Let me know down below your thoughts on Jaren Jackson Jr. I really appreciate your support, guys. You guys are absolutely amazing. Peace out, y'all.